Welcome back, everyone. I get the sound up a bit. Just more problems with X, and like I can't use X. I can't schedule a broadcast and start it. I have to create a new one with a new link. I just don't understand why they can't make it work. Anyway, I'm not going to waste time speaking about that, but it's so annoying. It's so frustrating. Right, welcome back, everyone. I think Mando's running a little bit late, but when he, let me just ping him actually to message me when he's on. He's going to be joining shortly. What an absolutely crazy last 48 hours in this market. Insane. All that, I think a few of you guys are telling me that Situational Awareness had sold their whole book to Citadel, and I was like, there's no way they did that. And obviously, I mean, it's not confirmed, but I think there's enough reputable news sources reporting it, so it's true. It's just insane. It's insane. That is a spectacular blow up. But I guess here's my take from what I've been reading and people I've been speaking to on what happened. My guess is Citadel, these guys, Situational Awareness, were like mega concentrated in these positions, right? Like very public, concentrated long positions in all the AI bottleneck stuff, very concentrated big short positions in SaaS, stuff like Adobe. So, and they had it on margin, on leverage, which is how most hedge funds trade, right? Most hedge funds trade on margin. But I guess Citadel probably identified some pressure points and then grew into the opposite side of that trade. They probably scaled in. They must have started scaling into it like in May, June. And then the market turned and then they just started leaning on it and then, they were fucked. Like Situational Awareness were fucked, I guess. I think they got fucked on. I was trying to figure out how do they go from being up 450% to, I guess, down big in the space of less than a month when the memory stuff was it's down 30 or 40%. And I guess two reasons for that are leverage and then also your hedges not working. And if you're getting screwed on both sides of the hedges. So the data we have from the filings are from the end of March. So we don't know what positions they had, but it could have been a case where they started growing into bigger shorts on other things like the non-memory stuff and then getting destroyed on both sides of that rel-val trade, of that pair trade is where you get killed. I actually think it's a good trade, and I think it's going to work in the future. It's going to be one of those things where in a few months or years' time, everyone's going to be like, this is the trade that Situational Awareness had on, and if they had just held on, they would have made this much money. I think it's going to be one of those, because I think all the software as a sales enterprises are fucked. Like, if you just take a moment, a little bit of time to understand how to use AI, you can basically build anything you need for yourself. And there are so many of these companies that, sure, they currently have a user base and they're currently generating revenues, but I don't think it's long before people realize or figure out they can build all this stuff for themselves over a weekend, etc. So I think it's going to be a good trade at some point, but they were maybe just too early and obviously too big and too concentrated. But that's what caused that big, I think the big sell-off in memory over the last couple of months. Obviously caused a big rally yesterday because people thought they were out of the trade. I'm kind of surprised we're not seeing some follow-through today. We did. Let's pull up some stuff. We did see some follow-through overnight. Like, if I look at some of the stuff that I bought, Micron, like post-market, this was up at 9.15. SanDisk post-market was up at like 13.50. Even Nebius was up. Nebius is actually up today, but this is up at like 2.10 area. We did see this stuff move higher post-market, and for whatever reason, it seems to have not held this morning. My guess, if I had to guess, if I'm Citadel, you're short into that move. but you're not short the entire position of situational awareness, right? That's a huge risk. So you short some. You then get hit on all that risk at a discount, which takes you long. So you cover your short at a really good level. You then get long at a huge discount to the market. Then you get out of some of that long, which is why we had that big drop. But you leave yourself long, right? You leave yourself long something because everyone's like, oh, now they've sold and it's all cleared. Things are going to go up. So you always leave yourself some skin in the game and you ride that up. You probably start bidding it if you're them. That's what I would do. I would start bid if I was still a market maker and I could, I was dominating the flow in these names, which I'm sure they are. You'd start bidding it again, right? You have all the information. These guys had all the information. So you have the ability to go short ahead, cover really low, get long, push it up, which is probably what they did yesterday, and then monetize, which is, I guess, probably what they're doing this morning. So my guess, if I had to guess, and this is purely guessing, I have sadly no information of any of this stuff. I can speak to all my friends in TradFi quite a lot still, people who work at investment banks and hedge funds. So a lot of my insight comes from that. But my guess is they're getting out of the rest of that risk, or at least getting it to a more manageable spot, given how much risk they bought. So, yesterday I was speaking about how I was just bullish on these names now. I think that view's not changed. It does feel I should really be adding more risk here. It does feel a little bit scary to do so, I think. But I do think it's a good point to add risk in some of the stuff still, in some of the memory stuff. Like, it's all, as we said yesterday, it's all down so much. Like, even SanDisk reports next week. This reports on Wednesday. Like, for me, that's a good catalyst into a potential recovery. Micron will move with it if the numbers are good. They've had their earnings, and their earnings couldn't really have been much better. And I think the other fears are kind of seems to be in the background now for memory. I like the South Korean stuff. I like SK Hynix has obviously closed up massively overnight. I did add some of this as well. Similar thing in South Korea, just liquidations. Eventually there is a bottom somewhere, and eventually you do rebound because these stocks get to a level where fears get baked in, they get overbaked in, and they screen cheap. So is this the bottom? I don't know, but it feels like a good spot to take a swing at it. I could just sell what I bought and monetize it, but it just feels like to me this stuff could have a bit more room to run. Now I did rotate some stuff. I sold all my shares, sold an EBS, rotated it into more Micron. The thesis on this company, it was that situational awareness owned 20% of it, and they would probably, given their Anthropic ties, they would probably do something interesting with it, right? What's been confirmed basically in the last 24 hours is that they've gone, they blew up, I guess, and I don't know if they'll raise another fund or not. I'm not really sure, but like they're obviously in a materially weaker position now than they were a week ago. So doing something strategic with a company when you own 20% of it, that's a luxury you can afford when you're up big and you're up 450% year to date, which is why they were at the end of June. This is the last of the things that I think their LPs want to see them spend time on. So this bounced yesterday. I actually sold it pretty much on that green candle because the story for it is gone. For me, the story's gone. The story was the trade was piggybacking off situational awareness, and they're fucked, right? So therefore, I'm not saying this company's fucked. I know nothing about this company other than it does a tiny amount of revenues and it has a $1.5 billion market cap. Like the multiple is through the roof. That's the only thing I do know. But it's, the trade for me was piggybacking off situational awareness. They're now out the game. So that trade for me is over. And I'm really not surprised to see this down 8% today. It it was one of those where it was up yesterday, because everything rebounded, right? All their holdings rebounded. This was their number 5, number 6 holding, and then I was like, actually wait. And then I was like looking at the book and thinking, okay, what should I buy? What should I rotate? And then I was thinking, fuck, like actually, I should probably sell this, because the whole reason why I owned it has become a much weaker reason. So I'm out of that. I did want to maintain the long risk, so I put it into Micron, which I think just think it's a better trade. It doesn't have that same problem. So let's see. I think my average on this is probably around where it is now. I did get that print at 750 a couple of days ago. Probably the average is actually more like 813. I think. You know what? We can actually see the average price. Let's have a look. Micron average 799. Oh no, 832. So that's okay. I have a good average on SanDisk, just over 1,000. That was a good trade. And they owned a ton of this as well. So yeah, let's see how things shake out today. I'm still favoring long on the memory stuff, but if it's weak today, it really does mean Citadel have more risk to get out of, or that they want to get out of, or it also does mean that there are perhaps other contagion casualties in the market as a result of what happened. But I just don't know if were any of those guys as big as Situational Awareness was. I'm not really sure. So did they get bailed out? Did they not get bailed out? I don't really know. But I think I'm still favoring long on the memory stuff, but with some caution. Like the macro story hasn't really changed. But then again, market reaction to the FOMC originally was positive, and then we puked because that's when the trade must have closed with Citadel. So the market reaction originally was positive, and it was a different reason why we sold off. But yeah, I think I'm kind of happy with how I am now for risk. We still have 500k in cash, so I still have powder if we sell off to add more risk. And I have risk on, so if we rally, I'm happy. I'm not too worried. I think this is the right spot to be in. I do think we will rally. I think the big rally will come in October into midterms. I think that's the point where I feel like I want to be max long risk, but that's a long time away, and we're coming up to 2 dicey and bearish months. So I think just want to be patient and try and time things up a bit better. I think SpaceX is still interesting to earnings next week too. I think this is one of these on SpaceX on Tuesday, SanDisk on Wednesday. So big earnings week next week. So I did add a bit more of this today. I also added some small position in some space short calls as well. Might try and grow that next week if it sells off. But I think that's also an interesting trade into earnings. Like I said, if I'm them, I'm saving all the good news and all the positive stuff for when the unlocks happen. And the unlocks start 2 days after earnings. So that's one where I think is worth a punt. It's probably not too much downside. I think it's worth a good punt, and then just take the trade off afterwards. So I think I will probably spend some of this cash position I have in growing that trade closer to the time, and sort of just taking a punt on it. Let's see. It does sort of feel kind of bottomed out around here. I don't know, market permitting. Like after going down basically every single day for the last few days, it feels like around these levels it kind of feels bottomed. So, but I don't know. And we have a green candle here too. So let's see. else was I going to say? There was something else I was going to add. I can't remember now. Yeah, can't really remember what I was going to say. Yeah, can't remember. Sorry. Just see if Mando's on yet. To switch the setup. Crypto. Let's talk about crypto again. Same thing. I had no changes to me. I have this. I think the way PONS is trading, the market is getting a little bit impatient about V2. We sort of had a few announcements, which I think is probably making people feel a little bit antsy, I think. Oh, my X is just broken again. Great. It's one of those situations where everything feels like it's just now centered around V2. And is V2 going to end up being an exit pump for people? Is it going to be something where people want to buy the risk? For me, nothing has really changed. Look at the tracker. Yeah, it's going. The price is going lower for sure. I think that's what happens when people get impatient. But I think I'd rather, if I knew it would take this long to roll out, and people expected much higher, you'd be concerned. But I'd also be more annoyed if I had reduced it and then it launched and then everything ripped. But it's still dominating on market share on a 7-day basis, on a 24-hour basis. 75% market share on fees in the last 24 hours, and this is going to go up when they launch V2. So I think you want to hold on to it still. It still trades at, on an annualized basis, still trades at a regular multiple. Nothing's really changed for me on this story. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed other than people getting impatient. And if you sort of have two types of trades. One where you're doing these scalps and timing it and all that kind of stuff, and one when you're trying to express maybe, I'm not saying like a super long-term view on something, but you're trying to express a trade with the fundamental theory, and that requires you to wait until you see whether it plays out or not. May play out, may not. But selling it just because people are getting impatient while you wait for your theory to play out, I think is not the right way to trade, at least not for me. And I could be wrong. They may launch it, they may not get the market share, people may not like it, and it may go lower, and then it's like, okay, maybe I was wrong on that. But again, like a 24 million market cap for the launchpad, the number one launchpad with a 75% market share on the Robinhood chain. I'd rather see this. I'd rather take another 50% hit, or just lose all my money on it almost. I'd rather that and be like, okay, fine, I was wrong. I took a punt and I was wrong. I'd rather that than watch this thing go to 100 mil plus, because they did end up nailing it. And I think if you sold it out of impatience and they actually do end up doing it well, I would just feel very angry with myself, because it's like, there's nothing worse than having the right trade and having the right position, being early, and then just losing patience because you lost patience, for no other reason other than you just lost patience, and then watching it then just skyrocket to new all-time highs. There isn't really anything worse than that. So I just don't want to. I feel like I've got on this early. Then as time went on, developed a view around it. You can measure it with numbers. Everything is there. I'm bullish on the Robinhood ecosystem, or better put, I really think it's worth taking a shot on it. So it would just be, to me, it just feels like it would be silly to get impatient and dump it here before V2 and before seeing what impact and difference that makes. And like I said, I think PONS needs a runner. It needs a coin to go to like 50 mil or 100 mil on its ecosystem, and therefore gets fees. And if I'm one of the cabals, which I'm not, you would expect there to be a runner from a V2 PONS launch. You know what? There will be a runner. Whether that runner is cabal driven, whether that runner is organic, I don't really know. But there will be a runner, and I think everyone is expecting it as well. Everyone's sort of gathering around, thinking the same thing. So, for the real trenchers out there, which is not always me unless I'm at the desk, I think something will come. I think something will get launched. A few things will get launched, and I think there's probably a real chance of making it. It's probably, to make 100x, you have to be extra early and snipe it and all that stuff. That's tough. But to make a 10x, if you're plugged in, I don't know when they're going to launch this, but the commentary seems to suggest that it's imminent. You have a real 10x opportunity just from looking at the launches and seeing what comes back. So I think there's something there. I might need to lock in tonight and not sleep in case it happens. Have some ETH ready and figure out. And it's almost like you don't want to buy. Okay, Mandis is here. Let me see. I don't see you. Are you on the link? Yeah, it does feel like something will come today or over the weekend. I think it will pay to kind of be locked in. Yeah. Well, the point I was trying to make is I don't really know how we would play it. Like, do you Oh, here we go.
Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hopefully the stream can hear you. Let me know on the stream if you can hear Mando or not, or if you can't, let us know. But
how you doing?
Yeah, not
first
bad.
One of these I've come to.
It is the first one, yeah.
First of many, hopefully.
Yes, exactly.
How is trading going today? Market. I just got off a flight. Market's kind of weak, right?
It's kind of not. It's not where I would have expected it to be. What I was saying was, I think Citadel maybe have residual risk that they're probably getting out of now. Maybe that's what it is.
I think it's a sort of like you meant to buy whatever retest there is. Like that, that seems like such a clear technical bottom for me.
Yeah.
There's maybe still fear there, but you could even see on Velo that like the open interest had been rising as these things fell, all these memory and AI names. So I think people were shorting it on the way down.
Yeah.
And my gut tells me that we're going to see like a big old rally still now, particularly in the memory stuff. I think the memory stuff still looks pretty strong. The neo clouds, I'm less bullish on. But
I'm the same. I had a couple of neo cloud names yesterday, and I rotated it all into Micron because I'm just way less bullish on neo clouds. But they gapped up. There was that name Shaz, which they own 20% of, which Situational Awareness owned 20% of, and it was up loads because I was fucking bidding it, bidding it when it was. It's like I was like I bought 1,000 shares. Like I'm going to piggyback off the trade, and then I was like I'll add more if it drops 30%. Next day, it literally dropped 30%. Obviously, some people knew what was going on, so I bought more. Then it was up yesterday, and then I was like, oh great. And then I was like, actually wait, surely this trade is over because they're dead, so they're not going to do some weird strategic thing with it. So I had an EBS as well, which I sold, but it actually seems to be performing more strongly than the others. But I think I just think the neocloud stuff have way less of a moat and a weaker story than the memory, and it just takes one headline for one of these big hyperscalers to be like, oh, we're just building our shit ourselves, and then
look, it's interesting that Google and Amazon, or Amazon in particular, are like leading the market now. It feels like the strength, or at least the relative strength, is back in the hyperscalers. Still, I don't think these things are going back to all-time high. Like that's one thing it feels like. It's like it's going to take a while before Micron hits an all-time high, in my opinion, again. But I do think that you shouldn't think that we're going to go straight back down. I think this is a dip. If this dips more, I'd be buying it. Like who is left to be liquidated, really? We had like just a disgusting amount of retail traders being liquidated, and then Leopold. I think that at least you got a decent bounce in you here. Bounce and then consolidation, I reckon.
Man, Google's at fucking 350.
Yeah.
I should have. I would have made so much. I bought some Google calls today that expire today, but I bought them at like 3, I think, and I sold them at like 420. They're now obviously it's 1 for 1 now. They're now trading at 20, so I could have made a nice little 10x on that, 8x.
It's kind of just it's anchored to where it did its equity deal, right? Like it did that that huge equity round at 350 basically, and if you kind of look back when that happened, it's gone up to like nearly 400 and then down to 320 and just keeps on going back to this 350 level. I don't think it's like the best stock to own right now just because of that was such a big deal. Like it's just always going to be anchored there, in my opinion. But I had Amazon is one I'd bought for like the robotics play, but other than that, it was like there's not. Like I thought it was a decent bounce in the market, but there's not that much, which looks like it's breaking out to all-time highs right now. That's why I think on-chain is suddenly getting interesting again, because there's nothing. Everyone in all markets is always looking for that thing that's going to break out to all-time highs and can do like a 2, 3, 4x, and there's just not that many things. Like I liked Eli Lilly. I'd cut it midweek. And that was looking like it was breaking out to all-time highs. And now it kind of looks like, it's going to be another consolidation period for that. And it's just, you kind of go down the list and not a lot. So I kind of think that crypto's selling off. I think this isn't going to be like the major sell-off in my opinion. I think Bitcoin holds again here and probably bounces. I think it just consolidates for a little bit more rather than breaks down. I think people are looking for ways to make 5 to 10x, and crypto actually weirdly has kind of returns to being that place to do it for different stories.
Stocks are kind of shaky here. This is one of those when yesterday I was like, oh man, if this stuff goes lower, I'm going to buy more. And then like you come in and it's lower and it's like,
Trader off desk.
It's like I was so angry. I was like, I'm gonna fucking, this stuff goes low. I'm gonna fucking buy more, right? Like, this is just, and then walk in, everything's down 5 to 10%. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just watch.
I bought a decent amount of SK Hynix. I like that. I mean, I use trading bots, so sometimes like the volatility is your friend. Yeah. Like I'm generally looking things with high volatility because you can kind of just sit in them and know that you're printing yield like an LP.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking down this list. Is there anything else that looks really attractive right now?
So SanDisk report earnings next week on Wednesday. I think that's an interesting one.
We are going into earnings season, right? So there's so many of these
Yeah.
that will cause.
Well, most of like SK reported last. Was it this or last week? Can't remember. Micron obviously already reported, but I think SanDisk has like maybe a slightly different story on the memory front. So I think that's. And this is a punt, but I think I feel like before it was like good earnings get sold, bad earnings you shit the bed. But now all this stuff is sold off so much, it's almost like maybe there's a chance that good earnings get bought.
Earnings get bought.
I mean, the SanDisk is down. The highs were 2,400. It's now trading at 1,200, and it was trading at 1,000 2 days ago.
Wow.
So it's down a lot. Now, can it go down more? Absolutely. But with this stuff, I think people who trade crypto, who come into stocks, shit themselves a bit more because they're just so used to things going to zero. And it's like, these are companies that have fucking like 90%, almost 90% margins right now. Like none of the stuff is going to zero. It's just whether it's cheap or dear. And there's a level where it becomes cheap, right? So, and then depending on what guidance is and all that kind of stuff, that can move along the range. So, I don't know. I think it's interesting. It's just the problem with memories. You're always just one headline away from it nuking. If someone's like, "Yeah, we solved the bottleneck."
Yeah, I think that is the issue with like I said, I don't think they're hitting all-time highs anytime soon, but you can catch the intraday. I mean, if you're trading SK Hynix intraday, like, bro, like it moves 10, 15%. I just got off a flight and it moved 10%. It's wild. It's definitely got more volatility than crypto right now. And yet this thing is $1 trillion company, right? Or close to $1 trillion. So I don't know. There's still a fun way. If you're looking for just volatility to trade, I still think that's like the more interesting place to trade. But you can't look in the week. Just looking on Velo here, like the only real things up in TradFi on the week are Amazon's up 15%, Google's up 10%, Microsoft's up 20%.
Yeah, mental.
I know Apple's kind of down, but like the Mag 7 coming back seems like an interesting angle here, or at least like massively outperforming. I guess metals, there's nothing. This is the thing, metals are just boring too, like copper, gold, silver, they're just like stuck in these ranges at the moment. And they're not really breaking out. So I think it's
also summer. Like we're about to head into August tomorrow, which is just dead. Like people
you don't want this lovely summer of Risk.
It's obviously not a lovely summer of Risk 2026. World Cup years are never good for
oh, it's never good.
Yeah. It's usually the year.
What about on chain? That's where you've been, and I haven't really been apart from attempting to revive Ethic.
There still isn't loads on chain. The only stuff I've looked at is Robinhood, and I think there has been opportunities on there to make good money. It feels like a bit unsophisticated as a market to me. It's not. You go into Solana and try to trade on chain, like it's impossible unless you're, 18 and you have every second to be at your laptop and you're just fucking wiring it all the time. Robinhood feels a bit different, but it's kind of been quiet. I think this week there's been, you had that runner pipe dog that just went from 0 to 50 mil and then back down. But like, things like that are just, I'm never going to catch those. I'm not even upset about missing stuff like that. But I think the launchpad stuff is interesting. I think obviously PONS is the one that I've been.
Is it though? This is the thing. Like I feel like these launchpads, they get vampire attacked as much as the memes now. Like
they do.
There was this one on BNB where it's like, oh, this is gonna be the thing, but like it's the thing for a week, and then another one says we're gonna be the thing, and then it's like, oh.
I agree, but I think most people are probably not looking at the actual numbers. So, like for example, for PONS, they still have a 75% market share of fees despite the other launches, and that's actually gone up from 50% in the last 2 weeks. So, and like,
Are we going to be hearing about PONS for next year, you think?
No, not for next year, hopefully not. I mean, if you do hear about for next year, then it would have been a trade.
It's done well.
I'm not sticking around for a year.
Because it was like a really good trade, and now we're like Are you bordering on community member or not?
I mean, I first bought it at 7 mil market cap, so I'm still up quite a bit.
Wow, okay. Yeah.
But it trades.
We're just not used to this. The thing is, we're just not slightly used to, I think, the velocity. Well, I think in general, one thing that I would say, if we're going to go on chain and trade a bit more on chain, is that like the trades that me and you used to do for like 3 to 6 months have now got to be like 1 to 3 weeks max. If you're in profit, you just take it, because it's still so PvP, and also this the belief system. I mean, I can even see it around Epic. It's like people just want to move on. Like they just have the itch. You look at FOMO, the average hold time is like, it's gone up, but it's like people just bam, no, I'm done. Like it's the mentality of everyone in the market is very different.
I agree with that for meme coins, and I'm basically not going to touch any meme coins. Okay, I liked Cash Cap because it was the first one that broke out, and I thought it could have been the big runner, but maybe it still can be, but I'm just not going to do the meme coin thing, because I agree, you can't. There's no meme coin in the world where you can buy it and be like, this is going to be the PVE trade for this year. Launch pads have killed that. But I think with launch pads themselves, with PONS, for example, they spend 80% of revenues to buy back the token. There is a bit more of a stronger narrative there. If the Robinhood ecosystem grows, which is, I'm not saying it will, but it's not inconceivable, like it could happen. If they maintain a 50 to 70% market share, could very well happen. They're at 75% right now. Their fees could 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, 10x, and then suddenly you're buying back a fuck ton of the token, and it goes a lot higher. So that, for me, it's a slightly different trade to. If this was a meme coin, I would have sold it a long time ago. Don't get me wrong, but it's not, and that, I think, is the thing that's interesting about it. And they seem to have, over the last few days and weeks, they seem to have been starting to at least develop what feels like a community moat around what they've done. I think that's the trade. It's the best proxy for the Robinhood ecosystem, I think, right now.
So where's that trading now?
I think it was reached a high of 50 mil market cap, and now trades at about 24, it looks like. And they're launching this V2 thing, which I think people have been waiting for, but it's taking a bit longer than expectations, which is why it's I think people have gotten, as you said, people have gotten impatient and sold it and moved on.
Like this, obviously I think people are going back on chain, so I'm definitely looking for stories like this right now. Like I created a FOMO account last week. Obviously I just think that this trend is happening, but it is still difficult to choose. Like I guess I've just been trading so differently for the last year and a half as well. Like the way that I trade now is just, I do these trading bots, and it's just it's been successful for me. So it just feels like I know it now, and I know it really well. And like, but to get back on chain, I think it also feels like a knife fight in the mud at times. It's like everyone is trying to like outdo each other, and there's
it's a bit dirty, isn't it? It's just a bit.
It is. It feels a little bit like that. Like everyone's trying to fuck each other over and dumping on each other, and
it's like Tuesday night 5-a-side in Battersea.
On chain is Tuesday night. It's like a semi. It's the top league, where there's like some good players.
It's like when we play Dexter's Estate Agents. That was always a big rival game. It's just a dirty game.
Like some not ex pros, but ex academy who've put on a bit of weight, and like you're like, fuck, they're really gonna take this one seriously. That's what it feels like right now. And like, even in the group chats, I mean, me and you are in a couple of group chats where they're based more about on-chain stuff, and you just never really trust what anyone fucking puts in them. It's like, why are you telling me, mate?
I haven't spoken to you for a year. Why are you tagging me in this group, man? On-chain's back, bro.
On-chain's back. Buy this.
Please.
It's tough because I feel like I am the fish in some of these fucking chats, and I have felt like that a few times.
It's like someone gets a little sniff, you're back trading, and they're like, "Hey man, I heard you're back." Like
for sure, Mando's back on fucking.
I'm gonna ping you my best ideas, all right?
We'll get some Mando candles in, yeah.
It's like, hey man, we need a Mando candle.
Mate, it's like the shittest meme on Robinhood. Yeah, but yeah, help us out. Yeah, I need to get myself like an alt. I think an alt on chain, so I don't get.
Yeah,
because people. That happened a little bit like towards the end of, I think, the last on-chain cycle, where I just felt like I was the exit liquidity for every single one of these fucking trades. And then that's when I kind of stopped, because I was just like, I'm doing my nuts here on every single fucking thing.
yeah.
But yeah, so on-chain, if you bucket out the different things, so you have the launch pads, of which you have launch pads on all the different chains, and people are obviously, you're choosing your winner on each chain. So it's like Pump on Solana or Bonk, I don't know if that's even still a fucking thing. You have Robinhood, where everyone, it's like a new chain, everyone's going for it. BNB seems to be this Mars thing, took off overnight. But I don't know why that's suddenly come back. Like, who the fuck's trading BNB memes right now? Seems weird that suddenly that is a big thing. That felt very coordinated when I fucking saw it, because I was like, oh, okay. You know, it's very clear that FOMO is a big change in terms of being able to get ideas out. And like writing a thesis on FOMO, like if you got on FOMO and started writing theses on it, which is what a lot of the traders do, I think you can really push the chart, let me put it that way, particularly if like a few different people in the group chat also go for it. So like if you told me the biggest runner of the day was a meme coin launcher on BNB, I'd be like, why? Like, but it's because certain traders will decide, okay, that's going to be the thing, and then that's going to be the thing. So I think you have to kind of get on FOMO if you're gonna do this, because you have to write a trade idea. Like you should be writing them almost on FOMO as well. Not that I mean, if the PONS one kind of feels like it's been done a little bit, but like the next time there's one, like bam, send it out and then have a concept. Then you have memes, of which that feels like the riskiest bit of the rotation game. Like obviously,
I can't do memes. I just can't do. It's just so different now than it was before. I can't do it. It's not only is it so different, it's all just cabaled and bundled, right? So what are you gonna do? Fucking just try and guess.
Well, you can make a lot on them. Like obviously, if you bought that fucking pipe dog at the right time, you can still trade them. But you have to understand that they are probably a 24-hour trade or less, right? And then you have like the degen games of risk on chain, like the gacha, like cards, or you have FWA, or there's always this thing like, oh, we're all going to gamble, and then people say, oh, this thing made 500K in a day. This thing should trade at like $100 million, something like that. Of which I've seen a bit more experimentation about that on chain, like on chain, essentially casino shit, which I think can actually be quite a big thing this cycle on the right stuff, at least. And then creator coins, of which there's basically none.
Yeah. So what's the tell us about Epic Duck? It just ripped like 17,000%, not whatever it was in a day. It's obviously retraced a little bit now, but like what's the I know you announced airdrops.
Yeah, well, that was the original thing about it. I just announced that I bought it all, and I was like, right, well, I'll give it back. If it rallies, I'll give it back. And then basically built something about it. Ansom's been doing a good job, actually, I think, of like building out how he would do Ansom, which is like this staking protocol alongside people that want to partner with you and or integrating it into the things that you're doing, and basically just following that same playbook. But it's not the easiest environment, let's say. It's still very PvP. So like people just move on. Like you're a story for a day, and then you're not, and then hopefully over time you kind of make it. You like build something that people want to be a part of. But yeah, it's still a fight on the fight in the mud at the moment. I think if money comes in and Bitcoin goes to 70K, and I think Ansem will absolutely rip.
You reckon?
I really do. Yeah. Because if you go through that whole things that we just said, they are the most difficult thing to have dilution about. Other than some of the other stuff becoming big, like who are you actually going to get doing a creator coin that you'd ever trust?
Yeah, I do agree, and I do like Ansem, and it's sort of been on my radar for a bit, and then it's kind of like gotten to it. I didn't FOMO it. I think these levels, it feels a bit flawed here, doesn't it? Unless one big person pukes it. I don't know. I mean, it's clearly supply controlled, so I do like that because, as you say, like when markets get going again, that's going to move. It's going to move higher, right? It's going to move a lot higher. It's not just going to stay where it is.
Well, there's only there's very, very few. The only other creator coins have ever really have been the ones attached to people's names from Pump Fund streams, like the Gainsy one, and Rasma did one, but they feel they're a bit more like devotion to a person rather than like a concept or an idea where it's like a bit fun. Whereas I think the Black Bull thing kind of works.
Yeah.
And like that is like a more unique story, in my opinion. So I kind of think if he's good, I think it's a time for it. I think it's kind of the part of the reason why Rekt is also rallying a lot, because you've basically now built out Rekt Markets and integration of all that. And I think people are looking for unique stories like that again. Yeah. Way more than even, and I'm not shitting on any of the bigger memes, but where's like Fartcoin right now? I don't even know. But something tells me that if Bitcoin went to 70K, 75K, that isn't rallying.
Yeah.
That isn't rallying. Like the 9-figure memes, like 100 million plus, Pudgy, Fartcoin, I don't know how many fit into that bag, but there's not that many. And I think those are still going to be really difficult because they just feel like the new shit that comes out every single cycle is going to be the stuff that runs in the broader, it's a meme category. I guess Pudgy's slightly different because it's a bit more of a brand, has a unique story, but how many meme coins are there above in the 9-figure?
Can't be many now.
Top meme coins.
Like,
so
the big 3 or 4, and then after that, I'm not even really sure.
That's what I'd be looking for on chain. Like, you've got to look for, obviously, it's so easy to vamp on chain. That's one thing it's become very clear. Like, even if you had a good on-chain casino style thing, like FWA, like people will just vamp it and put it on another chain and be like, we're going to do this on BNB. We're going to do this on Robinhood. Like, you can just tell, like, it's so easy to vamp. There's not, it's really difficult to vamp, in my opinion, the creator coin stuff. Yeah. So my hope is that these are kind of more in, like, they're better stories long term than some of this other stuff, particularly with people that you might trust. I'd be interested to see if anyone else decides to do it now.
Yeah, there isn't really, whether you love him or hate him, there isn't really a bigger personality in crypto than Ansem.
He's the biggest.
Right. Like, he has the biggest following. He, everything. So, that is like, there isn't really, I can't think of a single person who has,
No, nothing will eclipse it. Nothing will eclipse it.
You can say maybe there are other traders who are better or etc. But even if GCR did a coin or Kobe did a coin, it's not the same. It's really not the same thing as Ansem doing it, because I think he's not just a trader. I think he's a bit of a personality, and that's the difference, I think. So that is the epitome of creator coins, and now whether you think it works or not is a different question, but it doesn't really you can't vamp that. I don't think anyone can vamp it. When you start seeing these guys like, who is it? All these other kind of shitty Web 2 people who kind of try to come in.
But you'd hate that.
Yeah. It's like
I think even Ansem saying himself, like, no more celebrity coins. It has to only be from people like, it's almost like if Brian Armstrong did a coin, it would be somewhat like it would kind of make sense, or it have to be like established people in crypto being like, right, I'm gonna cut who are building something or have built something, and like you can tie it to them to a certain extent.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
so I think that, and then the other stuff, the L1s is difficult. Like I think Hyperliquid is at a really interesting point here, because I've been short it in the past, and I'm not short it right now. And I feel like it's now like slightly popular as a short. I think like a few people are involved in it. What do you make of it right now? Like going into Clarity, do you think?
There's obviously a big policy push on Hyperliquid, and I think a lot of it comes down to what those guys are able to achieve. But I think the market sort of showed its fanny a little bit, where it's like, you know what's going to happen if Clarity gets approved. You know what's going to happen to the Hyperliquid price.
Yeah.
So. And even since then, it's continued to underperform. So it's almost like, you know what the knee-jerk reaction is, and then maybe is at the point to buy it again. I don't know. I've never actually traded Hyperliquid before. Or maybe I have held some in the past actually, but it's been like that fantasy football play. It's like fucking Harry Kane. It's like Harry Kane for me. I've never had Harry Kane when he's played well, and every time I sell him, he just starts scoring goals.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so that's kind of. So I just kind of like stop trading it really, or stop getting involved with it. But it's one of those things where like as the price goes, it's a classic example of as the price goes higher, the tech looks incredible. As the price goes lower, then it's another
perp dex. Like what the fuck are we all doing?
Exactly. Like I'm thinking in my head, as it goes lower, I'm going to be telling myself, well, now you have Lighter, you have all these other perp dexes, you probably have TradFi trying to compete with it, you have all the centralized exchanges. So like, how can it possibly continue to keep this moat? Sure, all the revenues go towards buying the token, but are those revenues sustainable? And then obviously as it goes high, you're like, oh man, this is the fucking best thing ever. They're buying 98% of the token, and it's like Bob Diamond's in it involved, and it's like, so I don't know.
Diamond. Yeah. Love it.
The answer probably is you're just meant to not overcomplicate it, know that it's not going to die, and when it nukes, buy some, and when it rallies, sell some. That's probably what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, my gut actually tells me that it's going to go to like the mid 40s.
Yeah, it's not. What's it now? Like 50 odd? 50?
It's at 55, 54. Sorry, 55 area.
Not a huge.
My real thing about it is just the revenue's been decreasing. So like it's a lot of people are like, oh, it's going to be the future of finance. It's not that I don't think that, but you would like to have hoped that revenue would be increasing in this period, because I don't think they'll ever be accepted in the US. Just Hyperliquid, or like if they will, it'll be a ring-fenced style entity.
Yeah.
So, or at least, sorry, they may be accepted in the US in the future, but not in this current form of Clarity. Like Clarity feels like it's not going to be for them. So you kind of want to at least hope that the rest of the world is increasing revenue, and it's slightly not. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else is like a really interesting. What do you think about all this rate stuff? Like Wizard of Soho keeps putting in the chat, oh, look at rates go.
I was very cautious on stocks and everything a couple of weeks ago, and I was completely flat. And one of the reasons for that were rates. I thought there was a legitimate chance of a rate hike. Rates keep going higher. Oil dicey, even in this like post Iran war world, but then I also remembered for the last 5 years rates have only gone one way and risk has only gone one way as well. So it's almost like they just don't care. The other thing is like I think rate hikes, one rate hike would be quite nice to have because we'd probably sell off on it, and then I think we would bounce very quickly, and everyone would be like, "Cool, now the coast is sort of clear." And it's almost, I think rate hike is bullish for markets longer term. You sort of need a hike, but I don't know. It's not one of those things where it's a risk. I don't think we just suddenly reprice, but it does build and build and build. And for me, it felt like you sort of build until someone blows up, and it's almost like the situational awareness thing yesterday was like a big blow up. Now, can you have more things after that? Potentially you can, but for me, that felt like the big blow up maybe people were waiting for, and maybe it happened sooner than people thought it would, or a bit more out of the blue. But it's in the back of your mind, isn't it? Like you're just seeing fucking 30-year go up every day.
I'm just not really that worried about it. I just can't imagine that he can increase rates that much. Like,
no, I mean, what if there's going to
25 bips is...
Yeah. We probably rally on a hike. I think the market sells off and rallies on a hike. So, and I think the market I think everyone wants it. And people see the...
What about pump fun? You look at pump fun a bit? Like, looks... I'm just bringing up... Can I do you share screen on this thing or no?
I need to... So the problem is, if I share a screen, I think I lose you. But what I might... Well, I can. I can do this, and now you're gone, and now you're back.
Yeah.
But what I could do, let me see if I can copy you onto here. Aha. There we go. I don't know if you can see the screen or not, but okay, no. I can share a screen. What would you like to?
Oh no, because it's like my trading view. So.
Oh, okay. What you're saying? I don't have the right lines in my trading view. Got Bollinger Bands, mate.
Yeah. I can't even see your screen.
You can't even see my screen. Well, I have the pump fund chart. If that is.
It just looks like maybe. I mean, the thing about no one fucking trusts pump fund, do they? But it does feel like that's a bit of a bottom.
Don't they have unlocks now? Or coming up?
They had the unlocks.
Oh, they've had them.
They had the unlock.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone got distributed it, I think, a few weeks ago. But you're just talking about on-chain. Like, if we're actually talking about on-chain coming back somewhat.
Right, I see. Yeah, but
then
if on-chain comes back...
That is the OG launchpad, right?
Yeah. But, like, if you believe on-chain comes back, do you think there's going to be, like, a $100 million or a $500 million runner on Pump Fund? Is that what you think happens?
Anthem's on Pump Fund, no?
Yeah, he is.
But I mean, their fees are higher than Hyperliquid right now. If we're looking at in terms of the fee change, like Pump Fund is benefiting from this on-chain movement.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I just don't feel...
There's not that many, right? So it's the one altcoin, let's say, that isn't on-chain, but benefits from on-chain. Yeah, I guess Uniswap is the other one people have been buying, right? Some of the DeFi stuff, being like, oh yeah, DeFi is going to go crazy.
Yeah.
But Pump Fund's the only one doing buybacks, I think.
I understand your logic. It's like, okay, on-chain comes back, there's going to be runners. We're probably not going to be able to find the runners, but just buy the...
You know, I think I'm going to go long Pump Fund.
Buy the rails.
I think I'm going to go long Pump Fund. Chat. I can't see the chat either. Where's chat?
The chat... You have to go onto X to see the chat. I don't bring the chat up on here.
We should put this on Kick as well.
It's on Kick. It's on Kick and Twitch. Yeah.
Oh, is it on Kick?
Yeah.
What are you on Kick? Let me follow.
Rekt Mkts.
Rekt Mkts.
I think we have.
We should have the chat on Kick. That's because.
Yeah,
There's one person in the Kick chat, and he has just put a PFP of me. Just my face, not my actual PFP. Twice. He's put it twice. It's wild in here, guys. Get in the Kick chat. 5 watching.
Oh, that's good. I thought it was 1 watching.
No, we got 5.
Oh, that's good.
We got 5. Yeah. I like Kick chats because, like, I feel like they're very interactive. People. Oh, who's the Rekt Mkts account?
That's
we should get the kick. We could easily get this up to, because you can get subscribers as well here, brother. Like is that your P&L?
on the right, yeah.
Fuck me, you had a bad day.
I had a good day yesterday. I'm down. Like, what am I down on
What?
today? I can show you what I'm down
Yeah.
on. Oh, you can see.
Why are they listening to you? Look at this.
You can see what I'm down here. Down in.
The all-time is nice though, right? I looked at it the other day.
Yeah. But I think I've given. This is really the true all-time. I'm up 6K. I've given a lot of it back.
Right.
But I don't know. It's just all this stuff that I was up on big yesterday. Really is back down.
How do we get
SpaceX, by the way?
How do we get my port on here? How do we do it?
We can do it. I just need to get I just need to get all the APIs set up, and then we can do it for sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. I have to go, but
promise. I have 2 big accounts, but yeah.
What do you think of SpaceX? I'm a long bit of SpaceX into earnings next week.
Bought
some calls as well.
It's a difficult one. If you follow it like you follow, like if you think about it like a low float, high FTV coin, then it will probably rally on the unlock.
Exactly.
That's what I would guess.
That's what.
But it's not going to be some violent rally, I think.
Yeah.
So they have numbers. I think
they have earnings on Wednesday, and then the unlock is 2 days after.
I mean, the earnings are going to be terrible, I would imagine, because they're not making any money.
No, I mean
the whole data center thing has been like massively curtailed. It feels like, or at least
they're obviously not going to be. The earnings will imply some crazy multiple, but it's always versus expectations, right?
Yeah,
and they probably had some visibility of earnings when they launched this. So I don't know. I just feel like it's. I have no idea what the numbers are going to be, but it just sort of feels like
if into an event, whatever the fucking event is, into an event where everyone's going to be looking at the chart, you're meant to buy it
exactly
on a chart that looks like that, right? It doesn't fucking matter what it is.
Exactly.
But if a chart looks like that and there's a big event where everyone's going to be looking at it, you're meant to buy it. But I'm not long-term bullish.
No,
really,
I'm definitely not.
SpaceX.
I don't even really know what they do. I'm just doing what you basically just said.
Yeah.
It just feels like to me if they're doing some gamesmanship, then this is the time.
Yeah.
For it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like this is the thing. There's been some takes on the timeline, which is like crypto people aren't good at trading equities, but I think when equities are trading like crypto, and a lot of this shit is, we see it so often in crypto like this, I think you can trade it pretty well. Like we've seen this set up so many times. SpaceX literally did the low float, high FTV coin where it rallied for the first 3 days and then has just gone like that. And then on the unlock, they're going to do like the pump fund style unlock where it rallies 20% in a day and everyone like rushes in. And
I agree and disagree. The thing that I disagree with you is, first, all the crypto people said long SpaceX, which they were right for the first few days, but then no one said to sell it or short it. Everyone said stay long. So I think that part people got wrong. And the second thing I would say is I see, now that I trade stocks, I see a bit of kind of like some of the crypto guys trading stocks, or even just like retail guys trading stocks who are just trading charts, nothing else but charts. And you realize, because these guys don't really understand corporate finance, they're just saying shit without realizing what the risks are, why something is cheap or whatever. And it's just stuff like, I've seen people shill companies who are like, oh, they just signed this deal and this is amazing, it's great for them. It's like, well, I'm in my head thinking like, well, isn't that going to be a load of capex? And then you go and look at the fucking cap structure and it's like, okay, they have all this convertible debt, which is like super in the money. And then you're just like, okay, well, and they had like, tons of like authorized share capital. So it's like, okay, well, these guys are clearly going to fucking dilute you now. And that's not, sure, it's bullish for the company long term, but like the stock's going to go down and that's why it's trading cheap. So it's shit like that where I think people are not looking at potential corporate actions. And
yeah, I know what you mean. I think when crypto people try to trade micro stocks,
right,
that's when it can lead to issues.
Yeah.
because you do need to know deep things about the balance sheet, and rather than like
you just need to understand what's going
trend.
on. Like, you know what I mean? It's just
A friend of mine that you know, his wife now works in private debt essentially, but like VC debt, you know, like venture debt, and they were that trade, so they did a lot of the photonics converts, right? And they're like so fucking in the money on all of this sort of stuff. And you could tell they were going to exercise it all over. Like she was like, "Yeah, we're just going to exercise it all. Like these stocks are going to go down a lot." And then they did. I messaged her like a month ago. She was like, "Yeah, we all knew this was going to happen internally because we're going to exercise all the fucking debt."
all right, I have to call it here. So
yeah, all right, we'll do this next week.
Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope everyone has a nice weekend. Don't blow your shirt. It's sort of more a comment to myself, really, but
numbers going down, buddy.
we're hovering on to like the 7 handle for a long time. It was like 79, and then just sort of someone just fucking red candles, PONS or something like that.
Turn off the camera. Disconnect the API.
To get it down to the 80. But
okay.
All right.
See you next time.
Cheers, everyone. Goodbye.